Hello everyone, this is Peaky and its syllable structure and phonological processes. So a brief reintroduction, the language name is Peaky. It is an English Creole language with English and Spanish influence, spoken on the island of Bioko in Equatorial New Guinea. I did add a pretty little picture on the left there. It's a very beautiful island, and then on the right you can see how it's off the coast of Africa. Here is a quick review of the consonant and vowel phonemes present in Peaky. On the left, we'll see the consonant phoneme minimal pairs, and on the right, we'll see our vowel phonemes. There's a total of 7 of them, only one central low vowel, and they're going to differentiate in height, and that's how they are phonemes within Peaky. So some syllable information of Peaky. We'll start with the syllable template over here. You'll see that in the onset it can have up to 3 consonants and 1 vowel before the nucleus, which is always going to be a vowel, and up to 2 consonants in the coda. And in the event of an adjacent vowel, it will always indicate a new syllable according to Yakpo in the grammar. Most words of Peaky are going to be mono or bisyllabic, and many words have initial biconsonantal and triconsonantal words, in which both onsets tend to be broken up by deletion and insertion. So the deletion and insertion is how we are able to differentiate syllables within Peaky, and I'll go over that a little bit more as a phonological process in the later slides. And then a final consonant of coda is usually deleted as well, which is another way of differentiating syllables. And it is heavily influenced by tone and stress. So from my understanding of it, I can't really pronounce it because it's not in my palette yet, but over here, for example, the word stale, I don't believe we would say it how we would say it in English. I believe it almost has not a pause, but like stale, like that's 2 different syllables within Peaky. So in an example of consonant allophony in Peaky, we'll use sh and j. I believe that's more like ch. I apologize. It does optionally alternate with the voice's palatal C. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. It's something relatively unique and not something that we use super often in English. And sometimes, particularly in the word final position, of how that alternates, which we can see with the word touch. So those can be, the word touch can be pronounced in different ways. So it could be like tut, I can't not do that middle one, but it is a different pronunciation, bottom line. And then tush. So that's where you can see where that optionally alternates. It really just depends on the speaker of Peaky, and that's why it's optional, and it doesn't really affect the vowels that it comes after in the word final position. So something really interesting about Peaky is that there's actually not a lot of vowel allophony, but one example that we can go over is from to e, so from this one to this one. So they are phonemes like I showed earlier, but speakers tend to neutralize these and collapse them in their phonemic status by raising e to e. So it just moves in the placement within the mouth, which is completely optional and up to the speaker. And it'll take place in between the consonants. And so we can see that here for the word like, instead of being leg, it'll be leg, so it'll be higher up in the palate there. It's just, like I said, completely optional and up to the speaker when this happens, but other speakers recognize it within Peaky, and it wouldn't be something that was like incorrect to do. So within Peaky, insertion and deletion actually happens a lot in a lot of various types of words, and usually includes the phonemes s, j, h, and n. For example, Peaky has a tendency to want to break up onset consonant clusters. That's its motivation for this phonological process, in which the first segment is the fricative s, and the second a liquid or nasal. So for example, in the consonant clusters SL, SN, and SM are usually broken up by the insertion of the vowel I or U. And Jacopo actually provides some great examples here. So we can see here, I'll get my little pen out, something that would be sleep would become sleep, lie down. So we can see where that I right here is going to be inserted there to break that up, which is also a syllable motivation, which I talked about earlier. And then here we can see SM going from small to small, and then another version of that here. And then, like I was talking about earlier, deletion happens in after the coda. So that is evident right here in 16 in the sentence a decir big fire, I believe is how that would be pronounced. And then here you can see where the G, the G, would be deleted in order to break up those consonant clusters at the end of the coda. So that was my presentation for this. This is the bibliography. Thank you guys so much for listening.